Welcome back to Weave Along with Elewys. I'm Elewys of Finchingfield. For those of you who are new to the channel and are interested in getting into tablet weaving but have been really hesitant because you want to make sure that you're starting with an easy project, this is the one for you. This is a great project for both new and experienced weavers alike, and we're going back to those Nordic lands, but not Scandinavia. Wait, what? Fun fact, Finland is not part of Scandinavia. Scandinavia is actually a trio of countries: Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. These three countries share similar histories, cultures, and languages. Sometimes people lump Finland, Iceland, Greenland, and other areas into Scandinavia, but that is technically incorrect. They're called the Nordic countries, and this also includes some of the outlying islands: the Faroe Islands, the Åland Islands, Svalbard, Jan Mayen, and Greenland, which today is still a territory of Denmark. As we approach Halloween and All Souls' Day, brings to mind the way the early Finns dealt with their dead. Many of the extant tablet weaving finds are found in burial sites, and the Finns were still cremating their dead all the way up until the Iron Age, which for Finland was about the 11th or 12th century. Inhumation of remains didn't start happening until about that time, especially in areas like Karelia, where many of the tablet weaving finds have been recovered. What we do have, however, is a treasure trove of finds in Finland during that period. Many of these are being studied and recreated by tablet weavers in the Nordic countries, including a couple of amazing tablet weavers in Finland: Mervi Pasanen and Maikki Karisto, and I hope I'm saying your names correctly. They teamed up to write a book whose title is completely unpronounceable, but the English-speaking world calls it Applesies and Fox Noses. This is a great book for beginning tablet weavers. It walks you through several reproductions and the tablet weaving techniques, different Finnish pattern motifs, and it begins with really easy patterns at the beginning and works your way progressing to more difficult patterns to the end. There's 30 different patterns in here, and again, I can't stress enough how great this book is. I love it. And even better news, this team of tablet weavers has just published a new book, and it's available in Finnish right now. It should be available in English in the next few weeks, so I am really excited to get that book too. You will notice that the book is in both Finnish and English, so if you speak Finnish or want to learn, here's your Rosetta Stone. So the pattern we're going to do today is pattern number 1, or a minor variation of it. It's a very easy pattern. The pattern comes from a fragment that was found in the Kekomaki graveyard in Kaukola, Finland, and dates from the Karelian age, which is the Finnish Iron Age. This 3-color fragment was found on a dress, and a detailed drawing of this piece can be found in a book that was published in 1893 by Theodor Schwint. And the title of the book is About the Karelian Age, which of course is also in Finnish, and I can't pronounce it. This piece was 14 millimeters wide, or just a little over ½ an inch. So some of you may have seen this pattern on Pinterest or in your Google searches, or on the website for these two amazing weavers, which I will put somewhere down here. And they have a lot of other really great patterns there too. You will notice one of the major differences between the patterns in the Applesies and Fox Noses and the ones that I've been using is that they don't use S and Z in their patterns underneath, and their cards are labeled counterclockwise. And they even make it more confusing, their pattern is labeled DCBA instead of ABCD. It's okay. I got your back here. Still not time to panic. So let's plug that into our tablet weaving pattern generator and make all the little bubbles look the same as the image. Ah, magic. If you watched my previous tablet weaving videos, this will look familiar, and you'll probably be able to warp it up from here. If you weren't previously familiar with the Applesies charting system, you now have the key to translate their patterns to something that you're already familiar with. In the continuation of my Laurel Kingdoms weaving project, this piece will be honoring the Kingdom of Ansteora. This kingdom was elevated from a principality in 1979 and comprises Oklahoma and Texas. Now, some of you who are polyglots already know that Ansteora means 1 star, which is totally appropriate for the Lone Star State. I'm not sure how Oklahoma feels about that. I guess they're okay. L-A-H-O-M-A. Sorry, I don't sing in public. Where was I? Their colors are red, black, and yellow. So grab your looms and 14 cards. Now let's get started. Before you get anything warped up, you need to get all your materials ready. You need to have your pattern. This is a pattern we're going to be working on today. It's 14 cards, as you can see by the 14 columns. And you'll notice the S and Z underneath. That tells you which way each of the cards needs to be threaded. got my stack of 14 cards here. These are made by a 3D printer. If you would like to get a set of cards made, there are some available on Thingiverse. Not this particular pattern. This was one my husband designed, and he hasn't perfected it yet, so he hasn't posted it. I got 3 colors on my Lazy Kate. I did find another dowel for that 3rd spool. And I've got my loom all set up, and the tension bar is all the way back in the beginning position. So we're ready to get started. All right, take my Lazy Kate. I'm going to put this on the floor, grab the red. Looking at our pattern, card number 1 is 4 red threads, and I need to move my chair. I always forget I need to sit right in front of this first peg. It's the most comfortable position. All right, so we're going to wrap this around all of the pegs on the loom. I did have somebody suggest maybe putting the scissors on a string around my neck. Knowing me, I would probably stab myself with it, but that is an interesting suggestion. Some people may find that helpful, to keep the scissors right at hand instead of having to reach over to grab, snip, and put them back. All right, 3rd time around. And last one. So your first card, since all 4 threads are going to be red, you don't have to worry about which thread goes into which hole, but it is Z-threaded. So if you face your cards to the right, and the cards are labeled A, B, C, D clockwise, they need to be facing to the right. If yours are labeled counterclockwise, you'll face them to the left. But since mine are clockwise, face them to the right. Z-threaded goes through the right side of the card. I'm having trouble grabbing the threads today. All right, all 4 are through. And you want to tie a surgeon's knot, and this will secure it so it won't pull out. You put the left over the right and go under twice. And then that same one, right over the left, tuck under and tie. So it's kind of a modified square knot, and this won't pull out. Nice and secure. And then you shift all of your threads back to make way for the next card. So that's card number 1. I'm going to show you a cross section here so you can see the way the threads go around each peg. They won't crisscross over in each other because that will cause problems in the future. And each loom is designed a little bit differently. So this is the way that this loom was designed. This was handmade by somebody. There's no maker's mark on it. I don't believe that it was commercially made. So I will take some measurements and possibly for a future video do a little, this is how my loom was made. And so if you want to make one at home, or if you know a woodworker who can make one for you, you can do that. But back to card number 2. Card number 2 is yellow. Card number 2. This pattern that's in Applesies and Fox Noses, the original one that's in the book, not this exact pattern, but the original one that's in the book is slightly different. It has fewer cards, and it turns 3/4 turns forward and 3/4 turns back instead of 4. I really like the 4 back and forth. I think it looks a little bit more accurate, true to the original, and I think it's a little easier just because it's 4 and 4 instead of 3 and 3. So I thought this would be an easier beginner piece. Now, if you've never done tablet weaving before, there's several different ways to read patterns. So the Applesies and Fox Noses notation is different than the one that I use, the one that I found on the web. And it's different than the GTT, which a lot of people reference, which is the Guntrum's tablet weaving thingy. It was designed by somebody in Germany, I believe, and unfortunately I have not been able to get that to work consistently on my computer. Your mileage may vary. Card number 2 is S-threaded, so we're going to go through the back of the card, or the left side. Again, the face of your card needs to face you. Left over right and under twice. Right over left and under just once. And we have card number 2. Now you could do all 4 threads at once if you have 4 spools of that same thread. I only have 1. I might have a second one, but I only brought out 1. All right, card number 3. Same as the first card, 4 red threads. So it is the day before Halloween here. I suspect this will be after Halloween. I hope you guys had a great Halloween. All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. Heck, maybe even Election Day. Yes, Election Day is coming up on Tuesday in the U.S. No comment. Because I'm not about politics here. We're not going to talk about politics. That's not what this channel's about. This is about weaving and being friends and enjoying each other's company without letting politics get in the way. Because there's nothing faster to ruin a friendship than talking politics. Let me tell you. Okay, card number 3, Z-threaded. So we're going to go through the front of the card, the right side. And get there, it looks good. Ugh, man, I just can't. Having trouble gripping things today. I don't know why. Very strange. Yeah, I don't know if trick-or-treating is going to be allowed in my community because of COVID. I did buy some candy in case somebody stops by. I think I'm going to spend a little time individually wrapping them today so that they're in little baggies. Just trying to come up with a clever way of delivering them. A friend of mine took a a 4-inch piece of PVC pipe and hooked it up to her front porch and down to the street, which works great for her because she lives on a little bit of a rise, and I'm basically at street level. So I would have to have it up in the rafters to get down to the kids. And maybe I could put it in my daughter's bedroom. That would be funny. She could just send it down, and I don't have any PVC. All right, so we're going to do 2 colors at once. If you have 2 spools of thread, I think I mentioned, or 4, you could do all 4 at once if you have 4 colors. I don't have 4 spools of any one color. I think I have 2 of some, but not all. But if you're doing 2 colors at once for a card, like we're doing for card number 4, you can do both threads at the same time. So again, leave a nice 4-inch tail. I don't know if I remember to mention that. Yeah, always leave a 4-inch tail. Grab it, put your finger between the 2 threads so that they don't twist around each other as you warp it. The extra twist can cause extra problems later. And then you just run the 2 threads at the same time. Oh wait, this is 3 black threads and 1 red thread. Okay, so I need to drop the red. It feels like it's been months since I've done this. It's like I've forgotten how to do this. I was sick earlier this week, so maybe my head is just still kind of thick from being sick. Not COVID. Okay, and the 4th thread, again black. So we have 3 black threads and 1 red thread. Now at some point I'm going to demonstrate continuous warping. Some patterns lend itself well to continuous warping. Not this one so much. Okay, so for card number 4, A, B, and C are black. So A, B, and C will have black threads in them, and D will have the red thread. It's S threaded, so we're going to go through the back of the card. So I like to do the red one first, the odd one first, just to make sure I get that one right. And then the other 3. One, 2, and 3. And then knot that one like normal. Be sure to pull your threads snug. Make sure they're not caught on anything like that one was. And there's card number 4. Card number 5 is 2 blacks and 2 reds. So we can do this twice, like I tried to do before. Okay, card number 5, A and B are black. So A and B, again S threaded, so we're going through the back. let's get started on this super easy pattern. Now that you've gotten all the threads through the cards in all the right places, and of course go back and double check all of your threading, make sure that the S's and Z's are done correctly, and make sure that all of your A and D are at the top of the deck. This will be your home position with AD at the top of the deck. And what you can do is you can get a marker, especially if you have cardboard cards, and color it on the home side, and that'll be a great visual cue for you so you know when you're back in the home position. You have to have your shuttle all loaded up with your weft thread. This is the same kind of thread that I used for the warp. I made this out of a piece of shim that you use for construction. I cut it about 5 inches long, kind of grooved out the ends, and tapered the sides. Not fancy, but it works. Okay, to start your pattern, you want to take your weft thread and pull it through your shed. Your shed is the opening between the top and bottom threads. You'll leave a nice long tail. I got, 6, 8, 10 inches. I don't even know. Grab your cards and turn all of them forward 1/4 turn. You'll take your tail and run it backwards through your shed and put your shuttle forwards through your shed. Tighten that up a little bit, and you only need to do that once. You probably want to hold on to this tail a few more minutes because you will need it to tighten up your weft. I'm going to take another 1/4 turn forward. Pull it through, another 1/4 turn forward. Oops. And now you will want to start tightening this up. Give those threads a good pull. And then one more 1/4 turn forward, and you're back in the home position with AD at the top. You press that down with your shuttle and pull it through. Now you'll already be able to see part of your pattern forming. You see the black kind of half V and the yellow V. Well, this is where things are going to change. Instead of going forward, we're going to go backwards. Oh, and by the way, I got food coloring all over my hands. This is not a bruise. This is just food coloring. So the only difference is now you want to pull your border cards forward, which is 3 on the left side and 2 on the right side. It's a lopsided pattern. These ones are going to turn backwards, and these ones are going to continue going forwards. Backwards again, another 1/4 turn. Forwards with those cards. Press down. Pull that loop that you left behind. Pull forward and leave this loop. This extra loop will actually help you with your tension. Oops. This one goes backwards another 1/4 turn. This forward another 1/4 turn. Press very firmly. Pull that loop. Pull your shuttle through and leave the loop behind. Last 1/4 turn. Press. Pull. Leave a loop. And now you've got the nice gold diamond and a triangle. Now all of the cards will go forward again. And that is the entire pattern. as you continue to weave, all of your border cards, of course, are continuing to go in the same direction, and all of the middle cards go forward 4 and backward 4. So there's 0 twist on the inside cards. On the outside cards, however, a huge buildup of twist is forming. So every so often, every 6 inches of weaving or so, you will need to flip your cards. And it's literally as easy as this. Flip. Flip that one. Flip this one. Those are the 3 border cards on this side. And this side has 2 border cards. Flip and flip. And then you continue weaving as before. The outside cards will continue going forwards, the inside cards will go forwards and then backwards. Sneeze.